What's up? This is Richie from the Where We Wild YouTube channel, and today I'm going to show you guys how I make spinner baits. I don't have the setup to mold my own stuff and paint my own stuff, but I just pretty much buy all the ready-made parts and put them all together and dial them in and make them exactly how I like to make them. So I'm going to show you everything that you need to do it, how I put them together, why I put them together the way I do, and yeah, man, hopefully you guys get something out of it. And if you're looking to make your own spinner baits, hopefully this will help you out. Let's get into it. So first and foremost here, why bother making your own spinner baits? Why do I even do it? Well, A, you're gonna save some money. You're buying stuff in bulk, and every time you buy a decent spinner bait, I mean, it's gonna run you $6 to $12 depending on what company, what kind of bait you're getting and all that stuff. I mean, you can go grab them at Walmart, $5, $6, Tackle Warehouse, they get a little more expensive depending on which ones you're trying to get. So it's kind of like shopping at Costco, basically. You know what I mean? You're gonna spend a little bit up front, but you'll notice that the parts last you a really long time, and you get a lot of baits out of it. So it's, a little investment up front, and then you kind of ride the wave for a while. Another reason why I do it is because most spinner baits on the market, I don't really like how they're put together. I have a certain way I like to have my spinner baits, and they're kind of hard to find like that. I'll give you an example here. Here's a Terminator spinner bait, classic brand, really good quality stuff, but there's just certain things about this bait that I don't like. A, it's got an R bend up here. You can see that. And most of these spinner baits have that exact same R bend, and I don't like that because the line can slip off that and run down and stretch your spinner bait out, and then you can kind of lose fish like that. So I prefer this twisted bend here, where the line can't go anywhere. Not a lot of spinner baits are made like that. I mean, you can find them, but so that's one thing. For a while, I was using those R bends, and I was kind of tying a little braid around it. I don't know if you can see that, just to try to close that off so the line didn't go. The line couldn't slip off. But that's a real pain in the butt, man. So that's one reason why I do it. The other reason is you flip this thing around here and there's no bait keeper whatsoever. Nothing on there to hold a trailer on. I like to throw Kytex on for a trailer, or Rage Swimmer or something like that, Spunk Shad, and that's a big problem for me. And a lot of these spinner baits don't have them. Some of them do, but if they do, here, let's find another one we got here, Booyah. So Booyah. They got all right, so they got a little bit of a keeper here. You can see that. But you got the R bend. A lot of times you'll find certain things about a spinner bait that you'll like, but they're lacking in one of the other things. Here's another one, Strike King, R bend, no bait keeper at all. So that's a double whammy for me. This one, I think, is another Booyah, actually. It doesn't say, but R bend once again. And they do have a little keeper. So if you like them a specific way and you have specific needs that you want to achieve here on these baits, then you might really enjoy making them on your own. But you have to be aware, I'm gonna get these out of my way. You have to be aware of weight distribution, and does the blade have enough room to spin? You know what I mean? When this starts running, the water pulls it all back. If you don't have enough beads here, this blade's gonna get too close to this blade and it's gonna hit it, and it's not gonna run right, So you gotta be mindful of that type of stuff, mindful of what kind of weight you're dealing with, so the bait stays straight up, doesn't start to turn over on you. And there's some trial and error and stuff like that when it comes to blade sizes and different things like that. But I'm just going to make a spinner bait here and show you exactly how I put them together. And it's pretty sick, man. It's like the possibilities are endless. I mean, you can go painted blades, you can go Colorado blades, double willows that are painted. You got a little willow, a normal size willow. Sometimes I'll put together gigantic ones. I think this one's like a 3/4 ounce maybe, and a number 6 Willow blade, which is just gigantor, man. I'll throw that in the springtime. I even made them before with triple blades, triple willows, silver, painted, and gold. That's pretty sick right there, man. Very cool. And so you got to really dial in that spacing so all these have enough space to do their thing, and it's just cool, man. And then as far as the skirts go, you know, I really prefer a really thick skirt on these things, and a lot of times when you buy them, let me show you that Terminator again. You know, there's not much going on with this skirt. It's pretty thin, you know, it's not very nice as far as I'm concerned. So that's basically why I make them. So let's show you how I make them. Now, I pretty much get all my stuff at lurepartsonline.com, and I'll link that in the description of this video. I just buy a couple of things in bulk, just the actual spinnerbait bodies. They come in 5 packs. They're probably like $10 for a pack of 5. I don't remember the exact price, but these are called heavy wire guppy head spinnerbaits. And, you know, 3/8 ounce, ½ ounce, 3/4 ounce. You know, I got some normal white colors here. Here's a kind of a shad pattern color, white and chartreuse. You can go nuts, man. They have all kinds of options for you to pick from. Different colors, different types of baits. But the reason why I picked these out is because they just had what I wanted. They have the twisted bend on top, and they got a nice bait keeper for me. So let's see, which one do I want to play with today? Maybe I will make one of these ½ ounce shad patterns. ½ ounce, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. We'll play with this. So you can see, you know, like I said, it's got that twisted bend, so you don't have to worry about the line coming off. It's got a nice little sharp bait keeper there, so you can throw a Kitech on there or whatever you want. You don't have to worry about it sliding off. I mean, that's a big deal, dude. So we'll start with that. I got a whole little box here of stuff that I bought. Here are all my blades, all my little components and stuff like that. They all come with model numbers and everything like that, so you know when you have to reorder them. I'll link all this stuff in the description. But you got your Colorado blades, you got your Willow style blades. I got some that are painted, some that are silver, some that are gold. And just depending on the situation, you know, I mean, if it's cloudy out, I'm running gold blades. If it's really bright out, I'm rolling silver blades out there. If it's really muddy, I'm gonna go with painted blades. I mean, it's just so cool that you can dial this stuff in. As far as other components like barrel swivels and, you know, split rings and stuff like that, you can pretty much just get, you know, whatever on Amazon and try to get them on there to save a little money. You know, some cheap split rings. The split rings and stuff aren't responsible for holding your hooks on when it comes to a spinnerbait, so you can save a little money there. You don't have to go up to Spro or, you know, Owner and have like really strong, legit split rings, because it's just holding the blade on. You know, no fish are gonna be ripping at that thing. We got the, oh yeah, skirting material too, I forgot to tell you about. Once again, so many options. You can get any color you want, dude. I'm probably gonna roll with, you know, maybe a little hologram type of feel, little white with some sparkle in it, some flake, maybe normal white, we'll see. But like this type of stuff should match perfect. It's just, it's overwhelming the amount of options that you can have here. So what do I want here? Maybe I will go Willow, Colorado. Silver Willow to silver Colorado, just your basic little spinnerbait there. Kind of running out of stuff, to be honest with you. Not too big? No, that works. So this is a number 5 Willow blade. It's a little big, little big. I kind of wish I had some number 4s laying around. Here's a 4.5. That might be better, but it's painted. I don't really necessarily need a painted right now, so screw it. I'll put on a nice big number 5. And then for my little Colorado blade here, I wonder if this is too big. Number 5, that's a little too big. Yeah, that's a little nutty. That's a little big. Maybe I will just go with a smaller one here. Switch these out, and yeah, that's kind of dope right there. Maybe we should go with that. That is a number 3 Colorado blade nickel. That one right there. That's kind of my favorite, to be honest with you, man. Willow up front and then a Colorado behind it. That's kind of been my money maker. What else are we gonna need here? We're gonna need something called a clevis. And basically I just kind of line up all the parts I'm gonna use beforehand. Got some beads here, some metal beads. They say 1/8 inch hollow metal beads, nickel. Probably gonna need, I don't know, what do I usually do? 4? We'll do 4 of them. You gotta make sure when you're ordering parts that, hey, how are you, buddy? Have a good day with your road rage as I'm trying to make spinner baits. But yeah, when you're buying this stuff, you gotta make sure that everything that you're buying is gonna fit the wire size. All right, so we got some stuff laid out here. We've got our 2 blades, our clevis. We'll get into the skirt after. What else are we gonna need here? We're gonna need a barrel swivel of some sort. We're gonna need that. We are going to need, I don't know what size I'm gonna need here, but this looks about right. Yeah, that'll work. A little bit of a split ring. And that's pretty much it, man. I think we're good to go as far as components go. So let's put this together and see how it looks. You're also gonna need a pair of round bend pliers because we're gonna have to bend this. So what you wanna do here is you're gonna take your clevis and you're gonna loop that blade over that, and you're gonna slide this down the spinnerbait. And now you want the dome side of the blade, the side that bends in, to be facing, ooh, this hook's sharp, to be facing down, because when it's running in the water, you want that blade to be hitting, or the water to be hitting that side of the blade, you know what I mean? So it can spin around. If it's backwards, it's just not gonna spin right. So we're gonna throw that on first. It's pretty simple stuff, man. It's really fun. We're gonna put these beads on. I'm gonna roll 4 of them out there. Slide 1 down. And there's so many different kinds, man. Gold, silver, you can get plastic beads, metal beads, all kinds of different colors. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. I'm sorry, it's a really tiny, damn dude, I can't even get this thing on here. There you go, 2. I wonder if I should have put 1 up front. It's so funny, man. You can do it so many different ways. It's kind of hard to feed these things on. These things like fit perfect on there, so it's like tight squeeze. Should I roll 4 or 5 out there? I think 4 will be good. Just got to make sure you have enough room between those 2 blades. That's all it is. It's tricky when you do those multiple, like 3 blades. That's crazy. You got to really dial that in. Put away our extra bead here. I'm so used to making reel videos, man, where I'm like taking everything apart and stuff, and there's an order to it. And this type of thing where I'm building a spinnerbait, there's no order to it. So I'm sorry if I'm a little all over the place. I've never actually made a video like this before. All right, what else we got to do here? We got to get our blade onto our split ring. So obviously you're going to need some split ring pliers as well. But if you're a fisherman, you probably have those already. And then we need to get the blade onto our barrel swivel. There we go. All right, so now this is kind of the tricky part here. And you're gonna have to bend this wire. Sometimes it's not so easy, but I'm gonna show you how I go about doing it. So basically, I'm just trying to get a bend to line up perfect with the rest of this bait. I hope you can see this here. I hope the lighting's okay. It's very hard because it's so thin, but you know, basically it's just going to be being bent in towards this side, trying to keep it as straight as possible. So I'm just going to kind of squeeze and just start to get a little bit of a bend as straight in line with the rest of this bait as I can. See how you start to see that there? And you know, this takes some practice, man. I mean, it's a little difficult sometimes, but it's not so bad. It's not so bad. And you just start working it into that shape there, you know? And just take a little bit more. I'm actually going to need some normal needle nose pliers as well, I think. You're just going to start closing that off like that. So there you go, right there. That's basically what you want. It's just like a nice little hook shape. Then we're going to put our big boy blade on. Just hook it right over that hook there. And then we gotta squeeze this shut so that blade don't go anywhere. And now this is the part that's a little tricky. A lot of times you gotta be gentle. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. But basically I'm just closing that, closing that hook off, just nice and gentle, and you want that to line up with the rest of that wire. You don't want to blow it past it and crush it so much that it breaks off to the side, because then that's going to catch a lot of grass and stuff. You want it really, you know, streamlined and closed in right as close to it as possible. It's not easy to do, but the more you do of them, the better you get at it. I'm trying to get you to see that there, but and you just slight pressure, you know, don't be an animal with it, just kind of squeeze it a little bit at a time. And I mean, that's catching right there. I still think that gap is a little too big. You got to make sure that's like really closed, you know, or you're going to lose your blade at some point. So I'm still putting pressure on it, trying to close it as much as I can. And that's pretty secure right there. I'm kind of a psycho with this type of stuff, and I like them to be like really perfectly closed. You just got to be careful. That's better. Now I'm starting to work that bend in a little bit. There it is. That's money. Now I'm literally squeezed up, touching against it, and that's what you want. And it's pretty streamlined. It's coming off to one side just a tiny little bit still, so I can just squeeze it and just kind of straighten it back out. But you want it like as close to center as you can. That'll work right there. Pretty much the whole spinnerbait's put together, man. Blade's turning good. You got your Colorado blade. There should be enough room in between here with these four, so it's going to be spinning like that. And we're looking pretty good. Next up, we're going to have to talk about some skirting material. Now, I'm probably going to roll out just basic white here. You get this little skirt tool. I'll link that too. It's on the website. It makes life way easier to build your skirts. Am I missing anything here? No. It's really just that bend, man. That's really the hardest part. Putting it together is like so easy. All right, how are we gonna make a pretty looking skirt here? Let's see. We got white, just straight up white here. We got some white with some silver flake. That might look good. A little hologram. Yeah, I guess I'll use these open ones. Why open up a new one? Oh, you know what? Let me get some paper towels real fast because I forgot. This makes a mess. All right. Just wanted to grab some paper towels here real fast because we're going to have to trim these skirts and there's glitter all over them and stuff. So I try to keep it clean. All right, so we're going to go with the majority white skirt here. And I like them thick, man. So they come in these tabs here, and usually you can get away with, depending on how thick you like your skirt, you know, 1 or 2 tabs. Sometimes people use less, sometimes people use more. I am gonna run out 2 of these, this white color here. I'm going to run out 2 of these. I like them thick, man. This is kind of overkill. Most people be like, wow, bro, you're burning through too much stuff, but I wanna make a nice one here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see on camera, but this has a lot of silver flake. This has some light silver flake. So I want that flake to kind of be on the outside. So I'm gonna start on the bottom here with just the white. And you know what? Let's throw a little hologram type vibe in here too. There's a lot of material for one skirt, man. And you can split these in half too, you know, you can rip them in half and just use a little bit of each thing if you just want like a splash of something, like a splash of chartreuse or whatever. But this is just gonna add like a little bit of extra something to the outside, I think, for me. So I'm gonna layer it like that. So this will be bottom, this will be middle, and then a little bit more just on top here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this little tool here. Oh, almost forgot one important, very important thing. You need one of these little skirt collars here. So basically what you gotta do here is you gotta somehow get this skirt collar to, I don't understand why they build it like this, to be honest with you. I wish there was a way to get this off easily so you could just, I mean, it should like unscrew or something, but it doesn't. So you gotta pretty much smash this little collar down over this ring here and get it on this tool. And it's not impossible, but it's definitely difficult. It would be way easier if it was just flat. I mean, that went on pretty easy, but. All right. So we're just gonna slide that thing on, that way we can use this to, here we go. All right, so that's loaded up on there. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start throwing this skirting material on this hook here. And you know, I probably have way too much here, but it's gonna be a really nice thick skirt. So basically you're just gonna hook these on one by one, right in the middle. You know what I could do is I could layer them. That could be pretty friggin' sick actually. So we'll go white, white silver flake, back to white, white and silver flake. This is gonna be a thick skirt, bro. And then a little hologram to finish it off. This is definitely nutty, man. I think I'm pretty much wasting skirting material here, but it'll look really sick with a thick skirt, so. All right, so those are all loaded up in the order of which I want them to sit. And then you're just gonna pull this right in. Yeah, dude, that's so much skirting material. This thing's barely even pulling in. It's gonna look sick though. And then you just start sliding this thing down. You just keep pressure on it. And boom, you pop that right on. And then you just pull this back out nice and gentle. It's a little tight because there's just so much material here. There you go. Unhook it. And now you kind of want your collar to, I guess, here, I'll show you a ready-made skirt. You can buy the skirts pre-made if you want. I just like to build my own. So here's like a pre-built skirt that I bought in like I think I got this one on like Tackle Warehouse. But you can see, you know, that collar's pretty much right in the middle of it. And you see how like thin that skirt is, man? There ain't much to it. This is gonna be insane. But yeah, they got it pretty much right in the middle. But I like to go a little less than middle. You just keep sliding it down, keep your hand real tight on it, slide it down, slide it down. All right, that seems about right. So it's not dead center, it's like just a little, one side's a little bit longer than the other. And you're basically just going to, you're going to be cutting these little tabs off here. And you can do this now or you can do this later. I just do it now. You're going to just cut off each tab. You can cut them on an angle if you want. I pretty much just cut them straight. This is fun stuff, man. And the more you do it, you know, the better you get at it. The skirts especially, they're a little tricky sometimes, but it's really cool how you can layer the colors and the way you put it on the bait to match the paint. That's the next thing I want to get into, man. Actually molding my own stuff and painting. And even though I can't draw for anything, you know, you can get that powder coat type of paint where you just kind of dip it, which makes life pretty easy. Starting to look like a skirt, isn't it? It's gonna be a good looking bait. I still lost my mind with the amount of skirting material, that's for sure. All right, man, so there's our skirt, ready to rock and roll. Now, you can see that the one side has that hologram, so I'm gonna want that to be on the outside of the bait. So what I'm gonna do is, if I wanted it to be on this inside, I would stick it in with that there, but I want it on the outside, so I'm gonna stick it in over there. And I'm basically just gonna try to find the center here. And you're just gonna start feeding it through, and you gotta get over that keeper and onto that little sleeve area. You kinda just wanna get that going with some good pressure. So now I'm over that keeper. I got one more lip. Boom. There it is right there. Look at that. That'll work. Actually could have went a little bit longer. Actually, but that looks pretty damn good. Now you can see here how the majority of that hologram is on the underside of the bait. You can spin it a little bit too while it's on there. Kind of twist it a little bit on me. And on the inside of the bait, you got pretty much that white. So from underneath here, when a fish is looking up at this thing, you got that hologram with all that white behind it, which looks pretty darn good. Yeah, that's about right. So there you go, man. That's a dialed in spinnerbait right there, the way I like it. Twisted bend. Went with the number 5 Willow and number 3 Colorado. 4 beads. Got the clevis, the barrel swivel, split ring. Nice skirt with a nice bait keeper on there. Ready for a nice Kitech trailer or whatever you want. That's pretty much it, dude. That thing looks pretty good. My hands are covered in glitter though. Covered in glitter. So you go, dude. What do you think? Should we make one more just for fun? Or should we wrap it up here? Kind of want to make one more since I have all this stuff out. Let's do it. I cut everything? Yeah. That looks pretty sick, man. I don't know if you can see. That thing's pretty badass. A little bit of shadow there. Let's make one more. I'm gonna go with a white 3/8 ounce. It's rare that I pull all this stuff out, so I figured since I'm making a mess, let me just make another one here. This one I'm gonna make, I think I'm gonna make a double willow on this one. What are these? 4.5s. We got gold. These are little babies. I kind of need, I ran out of my my number 4 willows, and that's what I'd really love here. This is a 3/8 ounce bait, so it's gonna be a little bit smaller. I really don't think I can get away with one of these big number 5 blades on this one. It's not so bad. It's a little big for my taste. I got 4.5 golds. So you can see the difference between these blades there. That's a 5 and that's a 4.5. This is kind of the fun part here, just trying to lay it out and see what you want your bait to look like. That looks kind of sick. That looks cool too, but you got to be careful, man. When you're using, the bigger the blades, the more the bait is going to want to roll over, right? So when you're using a, you know, 1/2 ounce or a 3/4 ounce or even a 1 ounce, you can get away with bigger blades because, you know, you got that weight underneath. This is going to be a little lighter at 3/8, so it's just, you got to be careful. You don't want to use too big of a blade. We'll go gold. That looks cool. So we'll go double willow, gold on top, silver on the bottom. That looks good. And that's the thing too, man. Once you build these, all you got to do is open up your split ring and change the blade. So you can keep this, you know, everything is exactly the same here. But if you want to change this over to gold on a cloudy day, that's all it is. You know, you have a big selection of gold blades. You just switch it out and you're ready to rock and roll. So we're gonna need a little bit of a clevis here. Wow, you know what? I have this one random gold bead that came off another thing. Maybe we'll use that. Maybe we will use that. Actually though, it might be a little too big for this bait. If I had a smaller one, I would use it. It's looking a little too big. Okay, 4. It's a little big. It would look cool up there, but it's a little too big. I might throw a smaller. I'll throw like a black one on there. And okay. All right, so we got all our components laid out. Let's put this thing together. You're either bored to death or you're absolutely loving this. I don't know which one that's gonna be. We're gonna get our blade on first, get that together. I love this stuff, man. Split ring. Little barrel swivel. All right, that's ready to roll. Got our clevis. And remember, you always want the front of the blade to be facing down so it catches that water. I'm just gonna slide on our beads. Oop, see ya. That's never to be found again. Oh wow, what are the odds? I can't even pick it up off the ground, it's so tiny. These things are so small, dude, it's insanity. One, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Now we're going to start our bend. Same thing, we're just going to try to pull it right back towards. This should be easier. It's a little bit thinner. Okay. Hook on our blade. Crush this down a bit. Yeah, this wire is much easier. Perfect. That was easy. Nothing straight, pretty much. There you go. Double willow, gold and silver. That looks pretty good. Now we just need to fire up a skirt and we're ready to roll. It's fun, man. Once you start making a couple of these, you like get on a roll and you're like, oh, let me try this, let me try this, let me try this. And it's fun. It's just, you just start getting into a rhythm and you start cranking them out, and before you know it, you got friggin' 20 of them, all different kinds of blade options, and it's really fun. All right, so I got a little bit of skirting material left here. I used a lot on that last one, so we're gonna take it a little easier on this one. We'll use one of these holograms, and we will use 2 of these white flakies. Try to keep this one a little bit more simple. I kind of overdid that last one, obviously. I mean, you can see how thick that is, but that's nice, man. I really like that, but it is a little bit of a waste of material. I mean, you don't really need a skirt that thick, but especially if you're running trailers and whatnot. But all right, once again here, little truck out there, huh? Jesus, this guy trying out for the Fast and the Furious Part 29. So we got the white silver flake hologram, and I forgot to put my collar on. Why didn't you warn me? Why didn't you tell me? You knew I was doing it. Slip this on. It's actually not that bad. You would think that'd be really crazy to get over that loop with that, you know, twist there in the wire, but it actually gets on pretty easy. So I can't be too mad at it. Let's try that again. Normal white. You just want to try to center it, you know, try to keep it real balanced. Pull down. And what's crazy, man, is like getting all the different color skirts you want: black, red, white, silver, gold, blue, whatever you want, man. Making bluegill stuff, shad pattern stuff. Slide our collar down. This one I'm going to try to make a little bit, hanging a little bit longer here. So that last one I went more towards the middle. I'll show you what happens when I leave it more 1/4. It's funny too. These little collars, see how that side is white and the other side is like more of a, you know, brownish plastic type look. I don't know why they just don't make both sides white. Freeing up our tabs. That looks pretty sick. It's going to be the longer part down and the shorter part kind of flopping over. I just want to give it just the tiniest little bit more length, because if you make it too short, it's not going to have enough to flop over. You know what I mean? And then all this stuff is going to be sticking out, so you got to be mindful of that. So once again, the hologram is, we're going to want towards the back a little bit, so that can be on the bottom. And just got to be careful when you're putting these things on. Just try to keep everything straight, centered. It's going to look pretty good, this thing. And then you just really send it once you get up to that bait keeper. You can take a little break there. And then just that final push onto that collar is tough, but come on, babe. There it is. There you go. Oh yeah, that looks nice. It's kind of flopping over good, and then you got a little bit longer of a tail there, which looks pretty cool. And you know, if you do get one that's like too short or whatever, you can just slowly pull up on it, try to pull it through, you know, be careful not to break it off, but, and then you just line it up. So as this thing's running through the water, just like this one, that hologram, that real sparkle is gonna be on the bottom, and they're gonna see that. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet right there. Double willow blade, gold and silver. And then we got a nice Willow Colorado combo, a little bigger, 1/2 ounce, 3/8. That's cool. Very cool. But yeah, man, you can go absolutely nuts. You can make any combo you want to make. Big Colorados, big Willows, singles. I made all these, man. And they all look good. They all work well. A couple times I put 1 or 2 together, and you know, I got out there and I realized, like, oh, you know, that blade is too big for that body, and it's rolling over too much, or you know, there's not enough space in between the 2 blades, and you gotta pull it apart and add 1 or 2 more beads to make sure there's enough clearance, and just little things like that. But the more and more you make them, you know, the more dialed in you get, the more used to it you get. This was a cool one here. That triple blade. But yeah, man, it's fun. Super fun. So there you go. That is how I make spinner baits. Nothing too crazy, you know, you just start out small. You get a couple components of stuff that, you know, you're going to use the most. You don't have to start out getting every blade size and every skirt color and every single different type. I mean, you can lose your mind. So spend $100, you know, or less. Get a couple things that's gonna help you make some stuff that you use the most. You know, for me, it's mostly shad pattern stuff. So, you know, some white, some silver flake, hologram, couple different blade choices. But just to get going, all the little components like the collars and the split rings and the skirt tool, and you know, this stuff adds up. But you're still gonna save money in the long run, like I said. And I've had these for a really long time, man. And I still haven't gone through them. This is just, it's gonna last you. And it's just really fun to make these things. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. Hope it was entertaining. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. I'll link as much stuff as I could possibly find in the video description for you, so you can go to their website and order some of these parts. Some of the stuff I got on Amazon, I'll link that too. And yeah, man, make your own spinner baits. Why not, baby? It's so rewarding and so fun when you catch fish on something you made yourself. Like, I know we didn't mold the actual spinner bait, you know, out of lead, and we didn't paint it and airbrush it and all that stuff, but still, putting them together, making the skirt, you know, deciding what blade combinations you want, all that stuff, it's rewarding when you catch fish on it. It's just different. It's just a different feeling. It's really cool. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, and if you're into this sort of thing, don't forget to hit subscribe. We put a new video out every single week. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Later. If you want to see more videos just like this one, be sure to check out the rest of the Where We Wild YouTube channel, where we post a brand new video every week. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever we post a new adventure. Thanks for watching. See ya.